I have transformed into the malevolent stepmother from a book and have also bound myself to the malicious stepmother system. The system decrees that if I do not torment the male protagonist's prodigious son, I shall face severe repercussions. In a most absurd twist, the system has even developed a split personality. Red barrage. Immediately drag the feverish stepson up and make him stand in punishment. Blue barrage. The little one is burning up. Quick, administer the medicine. Whose commands am I to heed? Perhaps I should have him stand while taking his medicine? Congratulations, host, on binding the malevolent stepmother system. Please complete your tasks promptly. I abruptly opened my eyes. What system? What malevolent stepmother? I sat up and surveyed my surroundings: an opulent European-style bed, ivory white solid wood furniture, and a private garden visible through the floor-to-ceiling windows. This was not my cramped rental in the bustling metropolis. What kind of place was this? Just as I was engulfed in confusion, a barrage of comments suddenly appeared before me. Red comment. Immediately drag the feverish stepson, Gu Yan, out of bed and make him stand as punishment. OOC penalty. Severe headache. As soon as the red comment flashed, another wave of blue comments followed. The child has a high fever. Quickly find medicine. Ignore the red text. What on earth? Why are there comments? I clutched my temples. The dual information overload intensified the discomfort in my head. Red comment. Execute the task. Do not procrastinate. Blue comment. Ignore the red text. Guyen is burning up. Guyen? Could this be the character from the novel I had binge-read just the previous night? The cold CEO's hidden marriage with a genius child? Reluctantly, I dragged myself out of bed, my feet heavy as I made my way to the door. Guyen's room should be at the end of the corridor. I vaguely recalled such a description from the book. Pushing the door open, I saw a small figure curled up in bed, his cheeks flushed. Red comment. That's the annoying little brat. Teach him a lesson now. I shook my head, attempting to resist the malicious urge, and reached for the water cup on the bedside table. Let me help you with some water. And then, before I could finish my sentence, the red comment interrupted. OOC, headache penalty. A sharp pain shot through my head, nearly causing me to topple over. And the water cup tilted, spilling half its contents onto the carpet. Red comment. That's more like it. This is the right flavor.
Blue comment? Ah.
Are you okay, streamer? This system is too cruel. The pain contorted my expression. How delicate. Just lying there waiting to die because of a fever? The little boy looked at me in terror. At that moment, the door swung open, revealing a tall man standing in the doorway. Gu Tingchen, the domineering male lead from the novel, Gu Yan's father and my current husband. His gaze fell on the wet spot on the floor, then swept over my twisted expression, finally resting on the feeble Gu Yan. His brows knitting together in a manner that could crush a fly. Red comment. Confront him. You are the mistress of the house. Blue comment. Explain. Quick, explain. Act innocent. My mouth and body felt as if they were being tugged by two opposing forces, ultimately forcing out a line completely discordant with the situation. What are you looking at? Call a doctor. Do you want him to burn to death? He revealed no concealment in his disdain for me. Get out. In the last second before being expelled from the room, I caught sight of Gu Yan, curled up under the covers. His gaze toward me filled not only with fear but also with a strange mixture of observation and confusion. Is my OOC behavior so blatant? Stumbling out of the room, the red comments finally quieted, but the blue comments became even more animated. Streamer, we can see your perspective. The red text is the original host's resentful system bug. The blue text is us, the audience. You've transformed into the malevolent stepmother from the book, but we'll help you turn the tide. Leaning against the hallway wall, I let out a breath. All right, I'm in a book and there are comments. Since the blue comments are allies, at least I am not entirely alone. Unfortunately, I am merely an ordinary worker, neither a graduate of prestigious drama schools nor a registered actor in Hengdian. I wonder if my abysmal acting skills will suffice to convince the red comments to relent. Oh, my poor head. After the doctor's visit, he prescribed medication and instructed, you must administer the medicine on time, or complications may arise. Now, I must feed Gu Yan his medicine. Red comment. Force it down. Don't mind if he chokes. Blue comment. Don't listen to that. Use a spoon. The water should be warm. The little one needs gentleness when sick. The two forces tugged at my mind, causing my hand holding the spoon to tremble violently. Medicine is coming, I managed to squeeze out, my voice dry. The spoon wobbled awkwardly toward Gu Yan's mouth, the medicine swirling in midair, half spilling onto his pajamas. Gu Yan stared at me, with wide eyes. Gritting my teeth, I scooped another spoonful, and suddenly, the red comment roared. Hurry. Be forceful. A violent headache struck, causing my arm to jerk, nearly spilling the entire bowl of medicine onto Gu Yan. I'm sorry. The spontaneous apology intensified my headache. No apologies. You are the stepmother. The red comment fumed. Gu Yan watched me for several seconds before suddenly reaching out to take the bowl, slowly drinking it down. Good boy. Cheered the blue comments. Useless. Letting a sickly child help you? The red comment nagged incessantly. I sighed in relief, only to realize Gu Tingchen had somehow arrived at the doorway, arms crossed, looking at us with a complex expression. He squinted, and after a long pause, casually remarked, "Come down for dinner," before turning away. I straightened Gu Yan's covers, preparing to head downstairs. The red comments resumed their barrage. Go to the kitchen. Steal his nutritious meal. Let him starve. Stealing myself, I entered the kitchen, where the maid had just prepared Gu Yan's nutritious meal. Steal it. Quickly. The red comments urged. One hand pressed against my throbbing temple, the other grasping the tray. What are you doing? Gu Tingchen's cold voice sliced through the air from the kitchen door. Oh no. Caught in the act. The blue comments panicked. Say, you're checking. Quickly say, you're hungry. My hands fumbled as I placed the tray down, picked it back up, and then set it down again, babbling. I'm just checking if this is clean. Gu Tingchen raised an eyebrow. A chill ran down my spine, and cold sweat beaded on my forehead. Just then, a faint sound of footsteps approached. Gu Yan had somehow made his way to the kitchen door, still in his pajamas, pale-faced, holding a tablet displaying a line of text. Mommy is helping me check my temperature. I was dumbfounded. The blue comments erupted. Ah, the little one is a genius. He can see the streamer isn't a bad person. What incredible intelligence. At such a young age, he can save the situation. A future CEO in the making. Gu Tingchen's gaze shifted from Gu Yan's tablet to my face, skepticism not entirely dissipated, but mingled with curiosity and intrigue. Is that so? He asked Gu Yan, his tone softening slightly. Gu Yan nodded. At the dining table, Gu Tingchen occasionally glanced at me, seemingly contemplating whether my aberrant behavior concealed ulterior motives. I discreetly looked at Gu Yan and winked in gratitude. Gu Yan quickly lowered his head, though the corners of his mouth appeared to lift slightly. Mr. Gu? Miss Qin has returned to the country and wishes to see young Master Gu. The butler approached. Red comment. The rival has arrived. Hurry. Think of a way to tear her apart. Blue comment. What? Qin Yao, that green TBTCH, is back? After abandoning her husband and child, she's now returned to fish for money with her family bankrupt? Be careful, streamer. The ex-wife is back. Regardless. As long as the red comments don't come after me, I'll focus on my meal. Gu Yan silently set down his milk cup. Why wasn't I informed in advance? Gu Tingchen's voice was frigid. The butler appeared somewhat awkward. Miss Qin said she wanted to surprise young Master Gu. A shock would be more accurate, I muttered under my breath, immediately sensing Gu Tingchen's gaze shifting toward me. The doorbell rang, and the butler went to answer it. Soon, the sound of high heels echoed as they approached. Yen, Mommy misses you so much. A sultry female voice called from the entrance. I turned to see a woman with exquisite makeup stride into the dining room, dressed in designer labels, exuding the scent of luxury, with sparkling earrings glinting. Qin Yao, a former model, truly lives up to her reputation. Despite being in her 30s, she is impeccably maintained and appears no older than 25 or 26. In response to her enthusiastic call, Gu Yan leaned closer to me, displaying a hint of unease. Fear not, I am here, I whispered softly, disregarding the barrage of exclamation marks in the red comments, as I gently clasped Gu Yan's small hand. A flicker of displeasure crossed Qin Yao's eyes, but she quickly donned a smile and approached Gu Yan's side. Yan has grown taller. Even Mother can hardly recognize you. Gu Yan remained unresponsive, his gaze fixed on the napkin in his hands. Qin Yao's attention shifted to me, her smile unwavering. You must be Xia Qing? It is a pleasure to finally meet you. Miss Qin, you flatter me. This is our first encounter, I replied, rising to extend my hand politely, while internally rolling my eyes. Don't be modest, streamer. Splash milk on her face. The red comments frantically urged. Stay calm. Let us first see what she is up to. The blue comments reminded. Yen, mother has brought you a gift, Qin Yao declared, retrieving an exquisitely wrapped box from her assistant. Upon opening it, a state-of-the-art gadget was revealed, undoubtedly of considerable value. Guyen did not spare it a glance. This is a limited edition, specially brought back from France, Qin Yao insisted, her tone carrying an edge of firmness. Suddenly, the blue comments appeared. It's a trap. Their essay listening device in there. She intends to record evidence of your abuse for custody. A listening device? Intrigued, I leaned closer. Oh, how sophisticated, I remarked. Miss Xia has an interest in technological products? Qin Yao inquired with a smile. I've heard you take good care of Yen. Of course, exceptionally well. I feigned ignorance of her veiled sarcasm. The red comments erupted. Sabotage. Smash that thing. Throw it. Destroy the listening device. I grasped it, truly exquisite. The craftsmanship is remarkable. Before I could finish, it slipped from my grip, crashing heavily onto the marble floor. Oh dear, I exclaimed dramatically. How could it have fallen? Scattered across the floor, a small black device emerged from the wreckage. What is this? Gu Tingchen stepped forward to retrieve the device. Qin Yao's complexion turned pale. Perhaps it's a mere accessory? Accessory? Gu Tingchen scoffed. Qin Yao, when did you become so interested in listening devices? I feigned surprise. A listening device? Perhaps Miss Qin intended to record something? At that moment, Gu Yan emitted a faint sob, drawing everyone's attention. His eyes were red, pointing at the debris on the floor, then at his ear, his gestures exaggerated. The little one is an exceptional actor, the blue comments marveled. Gu Tingchen's gaze darkened as he crushed the listening device in his hand. Qin Yao, what is your purpose in returning to the country? His voice was as cold as ice. Of course, to visit Yen. Qin Yao forced a smile. I am his mother. You certainly did not say that 3 years ago when you divorced, Gu Tingchen retorted mercilessly. Your exact words were, I am not fit to be a mother. Do not try to confine me. Qin Yao's expression soured. People can change. Such as a family going bankrupt? Gu Tingchen remarked icily. You. Qin Yao trembled with anger. Gu Tingchen approached Gu Yan, gently patting his head. Yen is tired. You may leave now. Gritting her teeth, Qin Yao shot me a glare and, with a resounding slam, exited, her heels clicking furiously against the floor. I knelt beside Gu Yan and softly said, I'm sorry for breaking your mother's gift. Gu Yan pulled out his tablet and quickly typed, That was not a gift, it was a trap. Thank you. I stared at him in astonishment. He was fully aware of everything. The blue comments flooded the screen. The little one is indeed a genius. Streamer, you have an ally. Gu Tingchen stood silently nearby, observing our interaction before leaving the dining hall. Yet, I sensed that this time, his animosity towards me had somewhat diminished. The red comments had notably quieted. I feel the red comments have lost some of their intensity, I murmured to the comments as I leaned against Gu Yan's door. Ever since Qin Yao's listening scheme had been exposed, the frequency of the red comments had evidently decreased. The blue comments surged. The system is adjusting. Perhaps our signals interfered with it. Now's the time to engage more with Gu Yan. Honestly, this system is far from perfect. It's likely tainted by the original host's resentment. I gazed at Gu Yan, who was engrossed in a book on the bed, hesitating whether to disturb him. Gu Yan seemed to sense my gaze, looked up, and typed swiftly on his tablet. Are you going to take your medicine? I've already taken it. I approached him. Has the fever subsided? Do you need to check your temperature again? Gu Yan shook his head and typed. You're not the same as before. Who are you? The directness of his question caught me off guard, leaving me momentarily speechless. The blue comments erupted. Be honest. Tell him the truth. The little one is too clever. Nothing escapes him. I sat at the edge of the bed, my thoughts swirling. How should I explain? Should I just say I've transmigrated into a book? That would surely frighten the child. What if I said there are two voices in my head battling? I tentatively asked. Guyen did not display surprise, but calmly typed, one good, one bad? I nodded. Guyen continued typing. I understand. The bad one resembles the old you. Aren't you afraid of me? I whispered. What if the bad side prevails? Guyen paused, locking eyes with me. I trust the you of now. What a wonderful child. My eyes glistened with emotion. Thank you. I will also strive to protect you. Guyen seemed resolute, rising from the bed and taking my hand, leading me toward the study. Where are you taking me? He did not respond, instead approaching the bookshelf in the study, adeptly pressing the spine of a particular book. To my astonishment, the bookshelf silently slid aside, revealing a concealed door. The blue comments erupted. Wow. A secret base. High-tech. This was never mentioned in the books. I followed Guyen into the secret chamber. Although the space was modest, various computers, displays, and circuit boards were meticulously arranged. With the walls adorned with programming notes and blueprints, a secret workshop belonging to a prodigious youth. It resembled a scene from a science fiction film, equally astonishing as the phenomenon of I can see the comments, leaving me, a mere commoner, utterly in awe. Guyen approached the main computer and opened several videos. On the screens were surveillance feeds from various corners of the house. One clip showed the original host, Xia Qing, clandestinely making a phone call, the absence of sound accentuating her flattering expressions, indicating the caller's significant status. Another clip depicted Qin Yao shortly after arriving at the Gu residence, conversing in the garden. With a timestamp and a name in the corner of the screen, Gu Xiaoming. Gu Xiaoming? I whispered the name. The blue comments clarified. The second in command of the Gu Corporation, Gu Tingchen's uncle. Cunning and scheming, always seeking to usurp power. They aim to use Qin Yao to contest custody. Guyen holds the inheritance of the Gu family's most core technology. Guyen swiftly typed a message on the screen. They are using mother against father. Qin Yao is merely a tool. I pondered for a moment. So you have been observing from the shadows? Including observing, me? Guyen nodded. Then typed, the old you frequently reported my situation to him. But now, things are different. How can you be sure I won't betray you again? Guyen calmly pointed to the surveillance footage of me administering medicine and the incident of the device crashing. You're struggling, protecting me. The blue barrage was deeply moved. The little one is so warm-hearted. Host, you've struck gold. Oh, how can someone so young possess such a sense of security? Truly remarkable. I was profoundly touched and was about to speak when Guyen interjected. I have a plan. His scheme was audacious. He intended to exploit my persona as the wicked stepmother, deliberately creating the illusion of conflict and abuse to entice Qin Yao and Gu Xiaoming into a trap, ultimately delivering a fatal blow. This is far too risky. I frowned. Guyen shook his head. They will act sooner or later. Rather than passively enduring their attacks, it would be wiser to strike first. At merely 9 years of age, his strategic insight was commendable. He truly is destined to become a formidable tycoon. The blue barrage erupted with suggestions for the script. We could pretend to argue, or feign impatience with the little one. But make sure Gu Tingchen is aware of the situation. Otherwise, he might end you. I wrestled with my inner turmoil. If I were to cooperate with Guyen, the red barrage would undoubtedly intensify their assault, resulting in a headache of unimaginable proportions. Guyen seemed to perceive my apprehension and typed a reassuring message. I will protect you. I chuckled, such bravado for one so young. All right then, I will cooperate with you. I extended my pinky. Pinky swear? Guyen nodded and linked his pinky with mine. Footsteps approached outside the study, and Guyen swiftly closed the display, leading me out of the secret chamber as the bookshelf silently swung shut. Gu Tingchen entered, momentarily pausing upon seeing us standing hand in hand before the bookshelf. Dad, Guyen spoke unusually, his voice a touch hoarse. Gu Tingchen's gaze shifted from Guyen to me, then back to Guyen, his brow furrowing slightly. What are you two doing? I was telling him a story. I fabricated casually. Guyen nodded, swinging our hands back and forth, presenting the appearance of two close friends. This small gesture did not escape Gu Tingchen's notice. Rest well. Don't stay up too late. His tone softened considerably. Guyen obediently nodded, pulling me along as we exited. As we passed Gu Tingchen, He unexpectedly grasped Gu Tingchen's fingers. Gu Tingchen clearly found this display of affection unfamiliar, but did not withdraw his hand. The red barrage erupted once more. Disgusting. Pretending to be a warm family. I gritted my teeth, suppressing the sudden onset of a headache, and offered Gu Tingchen a strained smile. Good night. He did not respond, but his gaze as we departed conveyed more curiosity and contemplation than hostility. The blue barrage cheered. President Gu is wavering. Soon, Dad will come to love you. Let us join forces. A top-tier tycoon and his genius son, protecting our dear host. You're all overthinking it, I muttered softly to the barrage, my face inexplicably warming. Are you certain you want to proceed with this? I asked, observing Gu Yan as he set up new surveillance equipment in our secret base. This little fellow moved with remarkable agility, his actions far too professional for a child of 9. We need a flawless plan. Gu Yan typed rapidly on his tablet. This is the perfect opportunity to lure the snake from its hole. I've already prepared everything on Dada's end. The surveillance feed will go directly to Uncle Li, his assistant. The blue barrage exclaimed. The little one is incredible. A true little agent. How should we act? I inquired. Gu Yan pulled up a simple script, detailing the lines and actions of the wicked stepmother. Suddenly, the red barrage erupted. Yes, that little brat deserves a lesson. A sharp pain shot through my forehead but subsided quickly. It seemed the influence of the red barrage was waning. The blue barrage became excited. Host. It's a performance challenge. Don't worry, we'll help you with the lines. Standing in punishment, withholding meals, verbal torment, I read aloud these malicious actions, frowning. Gu Yan, are you sure you want to get hurt? Gu Yan shook his head, a sly smile tugging at his lips as he pointed to the details of the script. Upon closer inspection, I couldn't help but chuckle. Gu Yan, what have you written for your homework? It's all wrong. I chastised loudly in the study. The red barrage rejoiced. Exactly. Teach him a lesson. The blue barrage grew anxious. Remember to maintain your acting. Don't get too absorbed in your role. Gu Yan lowered his head, his shoulders trembling slightly as though greatly frightened. But only I noticed him subtly winking at me. Stand in the corner. You won't be having any dinner, I said brusquely, pulling him up and pushing him toward the corner. In the instant I turned, I discreetly kicked a small cushion toward him. Gu Yan expertly blocked it with his foot, standing atop it, yet appearing as if he were forced to stand on the cold floor. I silently gave him a thumbs up. Remember, do not move, I coldly declared, pretending to leave, while actually hiding beside the bookshelf to check the status of the surveillance. Everything proceeded according to plan. Within 10 minutes, bang, the door was flung open. Qin Yao burst in with 2 unfamiliar men, one of whom held a camera. Miss Su, what are you doing? Qin Yao's voice brimmed with fury, yet her eyes sparkled with triumph. How can you treat Yan this way? The red barrage exploded. That vile woman. Tear her apart. The blue barrage urged. Host, stay calm. Follow the plan. I feigned a look of panic. How did you get in here? This is my home. This is child abuse. Qin Yao pointed at Gu Yan. I will make the world aware of what a wicked stepmother you are. The man with the camera stepped closer, aiming the lens at the pitiful Gu Yan. Seizing the opportunity, I swiftly waved my hand, knocking over a cup of water. The splash drenched both the camera and the man holding it. Ah! He yelped, the camera slipping from his grasp and crashing to the floor. You! Qin Yao seethed. Don't you dare ruin our evidence. I feigned extreme irritation. You people, get out of my house. Gu Yan is my son. I can discipline him as I see fit. He is not your son. Qin Yao shrieked. You're merely a substitute. I am his mother. The situation became exceedingly chaotic. The door swung open once more, revealing Gu Tingchen standing at the entrance with 2 bodyguards, his expression thunderous. Upon seeing him, Qin Yao rushed forward as if she had found her savior. Tingchen, you've finally arrived. Look at how she treats Yan. This is abuse. However, Gu Tingchen's gaze bypassed Qin Yao, focusing on Gu Yan, who had now run to my side, tightly clutching the hem of my clothing. Qin Yao froze. Yan. You dad, Gu Yan spoke, his voice soft yet clear. Mom is helping me with my homework. The blue barrage erupted. The little one called her mom. Heavens! This development is too swift. Gu Tingchen narrowed his eyes, his gaze oscillating between us, seemingly contemplating something. Finally, he stepped closer to me, positioning himself half a step in front of me, coldly addressing Qin Yao and her companions. Who permitted you to intrude into my home? Qin Yao stammered. I saw her abusing Yen Yen. Leave, Gu Tingchen commanded, his tone icily sharp. The bodyguards advanced, forcibly escorting Qin Yao and her associates out. Only the three of us remained in the room, creating an awkward atmosphere. The red barrage seethed with rage. What is happening? Host, what are you doing? A headache surged once more, and I furrowed my brow, nearly losing my balance. Xiaqing? Gu Tingchen reached out to steady my arm, his voice unusually laced with concern. Guyan tugged at my sleeve anxiously. I'm fine, just a bit dizzy. I managed to force a smile. Gu Tingchen hesitated, words unspoken lingering in the air. The blue barrage was in a frenzy. The CEO is starting to care about the streamer. This speed is faster than I anticipated. Thank you, I whispered, for driving them away. Gu Tingchen remained silent for a moment before responding. I dislike others intruding upon my territory. The blue barrage was ecstatic. Aw, he cares about you. The CEO is slowly being captured by you. Guyan, weren't you supposed to be standing in a corner? How did you manage to escape? I feigned a stern expression, attempting to divert the conversation. Guyan raised his little face, his eyes sparkling, and softly replied, I didn't want you to face them alone. Upon hearing this, even Gu Tingchen was taken aback. The red barrage seemed utterly speechless, while the blue barrage cheered joyously. The little one is too warm-hearted. What a little man. My eyes felt a bit misty. How could this child be so endearing? A family dinner? Gu Tingchen raised an eyebrow at me, suspicion gleaming in his eyes. Yes, inviting the senior executives of the Gu family, Qin Yao, and other relatives, I replied with a smile. After all, we are family, and we should strengthen our bonds. Gu Tingchen remained noncommittal, his gaze shifting to Gu Yan beside me. Gu Yan grasped my hand and nodded earnestly. The blue barrage flooded the screen. The streamer is performing wonderfully. The little one's cooperation is max. The red barrage scoffed. What a facade of a good wife, unaware of the danger. Ultimately, Gu Tingchen acquiesced, though he cast me a meaningful glance before departing. Preparations were in full swing. Guyan took me to the secret base to check the surveillance setup. With so many cameras, won't we be discovered? I asked with concern. Guyan quickly typed, they're highly concealed, and all are wireless, with the signal going straight to Uncle Lee. What if they bring interference devices? I inquired. Guyan replied, I have already installed a signal jamming system, which only I can control. TSK, hacking into other systems at the age of 9, truly a prodigy. Just like in novels, it's quite terrifying. The original owner was truly short-sighted. On the night of the banquet, I donned a black evening gown and deliberately applied sharp makeup. The blue barrage exclaimed, the streamer is stunning, full of charisma. The red barrage seethed, shameless, bringing trouble upon oneself. Guests arrived in succession as I navigated through the crowd, occasionally scolding Guyan, stand up straight, don't run around like a wild child. The red barrage rejoiced. Yes, that's how it should be. Guyan obediently straightened up, quietly giving me an okay gesture. Gu Xiaoming approached Gu Tingchen. Tingchen, how is the project progressing lately? I've heard there are some technical difficulties. Gu Tingchen replied coolly, minor issues, all resolved. Gu Xiaoming shifted the topic. Guyan is a clever child. It's a pity he hasn't been properly nurtured. Miss Su's way of handling matters is quite unconventional and may not be suitable for educating children. Qin Yao immediately chimed in. Indeed, Tingchen. I have always been worried about Guyan. Although I made mistakes in the past, I am still his biological mother. Guyan, would you like to come back and stay with your mother for a few days? Guyan produced a tablet. I want to go with someone who doesn't love me. Qin Yao's smile froze on her face. Gu Xiaoming's expression darkened. The child has been led astray. Tingchen, you really need to see this. He gestured, and an assistant promptly brought out a computer to play a video. It was the abuse act that Gu Yan and I had performed. Tingchen, look at how this woman treats Gu Yan. Qin Yao exclaimed, tears streaming down her face. I truly regret leaving the child in such an environment. The red barrage wailed. It's over. We're doomed. Gu Tingchen, I spoke calmly. Do you believe this? Gu Tingchen's expression remained impassive, his gaze shifting between Gu Yan and me. Gu Yan quietly pressed a button on the remote. Ding ding ding. All screens in the banquet hall lit up. The first clip, Gu Xiaoming and Qin Yao conspiring in a private club. Gu Xiaoming, as long as we obtain custody of Gu Yan, the core technology of Gu Corporation will be ours. That boy may not speak, but he is quite intelligent and has grasped several key technologies of Gu Corporation. The second clip, footage of Qin Yao during the divorce. Gu Yan, don't joke around. I'm not here to be a babysitter. Whoever wants that burden can take it. Qin Yao's tone was disdainful. The third clip, a secret transaction between the original owner, Xia Qing, and Gu Xiaoming. Gu Xiaoming, as long as you help me obtain Gu Yan's research results, I will give you 50 million. Finally, there was the complete video of me abusing Gu Yan, including my secretive acts of placing cushions and preparing snacks. The guests present were utterly shocked into silence. Gu Xiaoming, Qin Yao, Gu Tingchen's voice was terrifyingly low. Security, please escort them out. Qin Yao's face turned pale. The blue barrage erupted. Awesome. This is such a satisfying slap in the face. The little one is invincible. Heartless biological mother, get off the planet. Gu Xiaoming looked ashen, struggling to plead with Gu Tingchen. Tingchen, for the sake of our familial bond. Familial bond? Gu Tingchen scoffed. Did you remember we were family when you were plotting against my son? Gu Xiaoming was dragged away, still unwilling to accept his fate. The blue barrage flooded the screen. This is called karmic retribution. Even the cunning have their downfall. The red barrage let out one final scream. Impossible. This cannot be happening. Before vanishing, my headache dissipated instantly, and my mind became clearer than ever. Gu Yan suddenly rushed over, grabbing my hand with one hand and Gu Tingchen's with the other, his eyes sparkling. The blue barrage cheered. Reconstructed family. The little cutie is so clever. Together. Together. Gu Tingchen patted Gu Yan's head and then looked at me, the corners of his mouth slightly lifting. Thank you for protecting him. You're welcome, I smiled. After all, I am his mother. A hint of guilt and gratitude flitted across Gu Tingchen's smile. The blue barrage erupted. Wow. Gu Tingchen took out his phone and dialed a number. Lawyer Zhao, prepare a lawsuit. I will have Assistant Li send you all the evidence. I want Gu Xiaoming to pay for his actions. What about Miss Qin Yao? The voice on the other end inquired. Not a single one will be spared. After hanging up the phone, I felt somewhat anxious. Will there be problems? After all, Gu Xiaoming has influence in the company. No need to worry. Gu Tingchen interrupted. The evidence is irrefutable. They are doomed. 3 days after the event settled, Gu Tingchen returned from a business trip and found me in the study. I was organizing Gu Yan's books. I want to talk to you. Gu Tingchen rarely displayed hesitation. Hello, I'm here, please go ahead. I set down the book in my hands. Gu Tingchen stepped a few paces closer, fixing his gaze upon me. I'm sorry, I have misunderstood you all along. This statement came as a complete surprise, leaving me stunned. I thought you were like everyone else, approaching Gu Yan for the sake of the Gu family's wealth. Gu Tingchen's voice was low, but now I understand. You genuinely care for him. The blue barrage erupted. The CEO has admitted his mistake. Oh my. Even the ice-cold CEO has a moment of humility. Gu Yan is a wonderful child. He deserves to be loved, I replied with a faint smile. Suddenly, Gu Tingchen stepped forward and gently embraced me. Thank you. The blue barrage went wild. Ah, they finally hugged. Hug tighter. I stood rigid, my mind momentarily blank. Is Daddy hugging Mommy? Gu Yan had appeared at the study door at some point, his eyes sparkling. Gu Tingchen immediately released me, clearing his throat. We were discussing matters. Gu Yan laughed and skipped over to me, wrapping his arms around my waist. Mommy. The sweet sound of Mommy instantly brought tears to my eyes. Looking up at me with utmost seriousness etched on his small face, Gu Yan declared, You are my mommy, and you always will be. Unable to contain my emotions any longer, I knelt down and embraced him tightly. Indeed, I shall always be your mommy. The blue comments were swiftly flooded with tears. Wah. This is so touching. Little darling, may you find happiness. Why am I crying? Gu Tingchen stood nearby, a rare smile gracing his lips. Since the disappearance of the red comments, the blue comments had completely transformed in tone. Mommy, remember to buy the latest gaming console for darling. The CEO caught another glimpse of Mommy today. I suggest the host wear that blue dress tonight. The CEO will surely steal a few more glances. I gazed at these cheeky comments, both amused and exasperated. Mommy, you're lost in thought again. Guyen prodded my arm. I'm not daydreaming. I'm contemplating life. I replied with feigned gravity. Guyen blinked. Are you thinking about me and Daddy? This child is growing increasingly articulate. On a serene weekend morning, sunlight gently bathed the dining table. Guyen was voraciously devouring the pancakes I had prepared, while Gu Tingchen perused the newspaper, occasionally glancing up at me. Eat more slowly. No one is competing with you. I ruffled Guyen's hair affectionately. Mommy's cooking is just too delicious. He beamed, revealing a mouthful of jam-covered teeth. The blue comments chimed in. Darling is so adorable. The CEO's gaze could almost pierce through the host. Gu Tingchen set down the newspaper. Xia Qing, do you have any plans? Plans? I looked at him, puzzled. He replied softly, do you wish to return to work? Or do you have other thoughts? After a moment's reflection, I answered, I want to be with Guyen. Perhaps I could work from home? Gu Tingchen nodded. Gu Corporation has a design department. Should you wish to join? Daddy wants to keep Mommy around. Guyen interjected, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Gu Tingchen's ears turned a rare shade of pink. Go wash your hands, Guyen. Seeing Gu Tingchen's slightly flustered expression, I couldn't help but laugh. The blue comments erupted with delight. The CEO is shy. Darling is truly the ultimate love matchmaker. This man, it turns out, has such an endearing side. From an unconventional beginning to an unexpectedly warm conclusion, our story, myself, Guyen and Gu Tingchen, has only just begun. The blue comments rejoiced. Perfect ending. Wishing you happiness. The end of the text. Thank you for listening. We shall meet again in the next story.